If you are ready to file your tax return, and if you're wondering whether or not you should buy some over-the-counter tax software, if you should go to a name brand tax office, if you should perhaps hire a CPA or just do it yourself, in this video, I am going to give you some information so that you can make the best decision for you. The first thing that I want you to know is that when it comes to tax preparers, what they don't know could ultimately hurt you. Tax preparation is one of those situations where experience is going to be extremely important. So let me break down for you what you need to know. When you purchase over-the-counter tax software, it walks you through a series of questions, almost like if this, then that. This is the next thing that you should do. But if you can imagine, it cannot take you through every single scenario that can possibly happen, nor answer all the questions that you can possibly come up with. Is it a decent choice? It is a decent choice when you're starting out. If you have basic W-2 wages and you need a software to help you file your tax return, that is definitely something that I would recommend at a very cursory level of someone that has just tax wages, W-2, maybe interest income, but it's certainly not something that I would recommend if you're going to have detailed questions or not really sure what you should be doing. I will never forget a time when I had to represent a client in an audit who used over-the-counter tax software. The tax software asked him a question about, do you have mortgage interest? He answered that question, yes. But it also asked him if he had mortgage interest when he was dealing with his own office. He answered the question yes again and put in the full amount of the mortgage interest twice, not knowing that he should have separated it out. Later on down the road, it flagged an audit, i.e. the story is he owed Uncle Sam back money. So this again is something when you don't know, it could potentially hurt you. When it comes to name brand tax offices, such as H&R Block, such as Jackson Hewitt, when you are dealing with name brand tax offices, absolutely, they do have some high level people that work in those offices. But typically, when you walk into what I like to call street level tax services, where you can walk right to the door from the street level, you're probably getting very early tax experience. And when I say very early tax experience, this is probably somebody that has learned taxes in the basics, passed a basic course, and they know enough just to do a basic type of tax return. Not to say that that's not needed. It is absolutely needed. But again, what you don't know will hurt you. Taxes are one of those situations where experience is only built by doing. And I like to explain it by equating it to a surgeon. Let's say you go to school to become a doctor and you want to become a surgeon. Your first surgery is perhaps removing a mole off of somebody's hand. But you may not be the surgeon that's going to go in and actually operate on somebody's hand, actually fix a nerve, because you don't have that level of experience yet and you don't know what to look for yet. So years of experience are going to be very important. If you're early on in what it is that you're doing, maybe you don't need a person that has a lot of experience. But if you're looking for that detailed individual, you might want to make the leap over to the next level of tax preparation. And that's where we cross over to what I like to call the tax professionals. These are the licensed individuals that have licenses that are governed by the state or licenses that are governed by the federal government, such as certified public accountants, enrolled agents, and tax attorneys. These individuals have demonstrated expertise at their level of knowledge base based on their government agency. But let's talk about the certified public accountant for just a moment. One of the things that people think is that if you hire a CPA to prepare your tax return, that you're getting the person with the best tax knowledge. You may be, but you may not be. CPAs are certified public accountants. They have demonstrated expertise in accounting, and typically they are licensed to review financial statements, to compile financial statements, and some of them with the proper licensing can certify financial statements, meaning that they have verified the information on a financial statement, and a third-party person, such as a bank, can rely on their expertise that the profit and loss that sit on the actual P&L and the assets sitting on the balance sheet are accurate numbers for financial purposes if a bank wants to lend that organization money. Do certified public accountants know tax? Some of them do. But if they do, it is because they have chosen to go outside of their normal education to get more education on the tax side of the equation. It doesn't necessarily mean that they know tax. You're going to want to make sure that you ask the proper question. Ask them about their tax background. Ask them how long they have been preparing taxes, and ask them about the education they have taken to learn how to prepare taxes. The next professional you're going to run into is going to be the enrolled agent. The licensed enrolled agent is someone who has demonstrated expertise in tax preparation. Their exam is 100% taxes. Individual, businesses, S corps, LLCs, they even have to demonstrate expertise in IRS tax procedures. Typically, I have found that enrolled agents have a deeper understanding of tax preparation because that's their first area of expertise. Some enrolled agents may have their undergrad degree in accounting, and they may have then went on to pursue more knowledge, but you're typically going to find a hardcore tax person in an enrolled agent. But let's not forget about the tax attorneys. These are individuals that typically do structured tax deals, mergers and acquisitions, and things of that nature. But again, you want to be able to ask the types of questions in regards to their experience. And let me tell you why. Because when it comes to taxes, there are so many different areas of expertise. There's the individual person that knows how to prepare a tax return, can take your information and they can put it on the forms, and they can do tax compliance well. They can fill out the forms well. But that might not be the same person that understands how to correspond with IRS in the event that IRS starts to question you about your tax return. Because tax representation is its own area of expertise. It's almost like a doctor who's your general practitioner, and then this person specializes in becoming an ear, nose, and throat doctor. Representation is its own specialty, and it requires some additional education beyond just a tax license in order to represent a client in responding to IRS inquiry. Why do I say that? Because when IRS sends you a letter, you got to be thinking as the tax professional, what's the reason they're sending this letter? Do they really just want the information on this letter, or are they looking for something else? And an experienced representative is going to know what the something else is that IRS is looking for. The third area of the tax accountant is not just going to be compliance, not just going to be responding to notices, but is going to be someone that understands collections. What happens when you owe IRS? What happens if you owe IRS more money than you can pay? What happens if you need to settle that debt with the IRS? How can my tax professional help me? That's the third level of knowledge, is making sure you understand tax collections. Completely different from tax compliance. Again, another area of expertise where now you have moved away from the ear, nose, and throat doctor, and you now have gone over to the surgeon that understands how to operate. This is someone who has expertise in the inner workings of IRS and knows what IRS will allow and not allow when it comes to taxpayers owing IRS, how to prevent liens, how to prevent levies, how to get their clients in the best tax position possible after they have found out that they owe IRS money. Then you cross over to the fourth level of knowledge, and that's someone that says, you know what? I don't just want to prepare tax returns. I don't just want to respond to correspondence. I don't just want to deal with my clients owing. I want to prevent all of this by understanding tax planning from the very beginning. So looking for a tax professional that understands how to plan around your not owing taxes may become important as you grow in your income earning years, as you grow in creating your business. Tax professionals are not created equal. They may all start out as tax preparers, but this is where experience is a good area for you to ask questions in so you can understand the level of expertise of the person that you're dealing with. And what they don't know will hurt you. And also realize that tax professionals don't know everything. They should be able to say to you, you know what, I don't know. I can research that information, or I can refer to you someone who does know, because there's a lot of information when it comes to tax preparation. If you enjoyed this video, I want you to like, comment, and subscribe. I can't wait to see you on the next video.